Okay. This is, like, I don't know, bro. If you just, like, trying to, like, here's some gangster shit, just cut it off, bro. I'm finna teach y'all motherfuckers some shit, bro. For those with the ears to hear. May I have your attention? See, I'm on a mission and in a bit of a bitter frenzy. My systems are on the fritz and the forensics say tension is killing me, so do you actually mind if I vent for a minute, Benzy? Could you be a friend and listen? I'd be most appreciative. I don't want to seem like I'm defending myself for being insensitive or overly offensive, hence if any friend who befriended me like many a men did isn't implementing my honest intentions to benefit their quantum ascension, I'm gonna unfriend them and stop the reaction in its tracks like antihistamine prescriptions. WiZe, I was born in the year of the snake, antihistamine cursed to discourage these nervous and impervious actors with the verses he rapped them. Yes, sir, on being hell-bent, even as a heaven sent. What makes it worse? I'm an O-negative Gemini, meaning I got two copperheads, which evolved into one basilisk to battle rap instead of a friendly spirit like Casper's. But what's a friendship when it's shipwrecked except disaster, especially after the whole crew is dead? Better watch where you misstepping. I'm too fly for you plain types. You'll end up jet-lagged. I'll cross town to give your crucifix if you irrelevant rebels repping that red rag. I'm a blue blood, so my M.O. cold as Noah with a boatload of elbows going over your head. It's affected my emotions and imposed a plethora of misdirections introspectively reflected. If this disconnect isn't fixed correctly, I'm gonna go ubiquitous on you dribbles of insignificance. This means I will individually have you surrounded. With this quill feather pen, I equivocate more hatred than constituents of Caligula in the Middle Ages. Y'all just want anger and hatred, but I'm a stoic poet like Marcus Aurelius. The way y'all generate and ingest, the next generation going to be degenerates. A head less since the consensus was generous in general with their agenda transfixed on next separations instead of progressing education. So, the typical arrangements for sentences rendered at criminal arraignments was guillotine decapitation. Back then, shit was major. I'm talking all capitalization. So don't make me go get free momentum to free my people from the center of cinema entertainment. I'm out of patience. No more days of limitation at legislation that's never expected to meet general expectation, just bickering back and forth and endless mitigation. It's just a show to keep us slow while they initiate their mission and we sit like good children efficiently conditioned in the simulation awaiting transmissions that grant permission to once again imprint the landfill with our carbon emissions. I digress. Let's get back to this friendship shit so we can dismiss this Benzy Bizzo business. Benzy should have been sensible. Then he wouldn't have had to get capped and end up missing. Just like the friendship I mentioned that never existed the second I was offended. The friend I befriended was headless, and nevertheless I transcended the mess and extended my tentacles into battle rap contention. But you won't concur until the verses ended. Still, I concur less. My first guess would suggest I'm the coldest in this congested competition. I'm like an iceberg when I supply my divine words to see vibrational waves shifted. The situation is colossal and the loss is titanic. But I keep speaking the gospel and these agnostics cannot stand it. I was sent in against a horde of hive-minded minions, and you'll get no sentiment or mercy from my emerging resistance. The actions of this blasphemous pacifist Benzy were his own willful decisions. No one asked him to go into the Holy Land, holding the Baphomet of John the Baptist and ravage Israel as an advocate for the Catholic religion. So the friendship shit dead, friend. That ship sailed and sank in the Great Pacific. Let's be specific. With a strategic tactical attack, it'll end that flagship fast with a big splash and cannon-level depiction with pinpoint precision and high-definition graphics. Presented with my malleable craftsmanship, when I ship out my disposition and it's witnessed all around the flat planet, fake friends who can't swim get sent with no paddle when assalamu alaikum, I'll assimilate them, resituate the status based upon the anticipation witnessed and send them up shit's creek with no episcopation. No salvation. I'm like Satan to Christians, so rest in peace, but please believe there will be no reason for your reincarnation. But to say I commode, that's an extreme understatement for the undertaking that I'm fixing to upload. When I unload this clip, it's the equivalent of divination. And if fart breaks win, I'd rather bite my tongue and be silent, but deadly instead of quiet and quite dead for my wise dedication. Wow. I bet that shit was a mindful for someone as unmindfully dread. You're a mindless kind of mindful, like autopilots inside your head. Full eye-wooled, but why though? Jesus Christ, bro! Just do what the shepherd said! The mask is a blinding path, but once the veil is torn in half, even the darkest evil will have saw the light I've provided, man. In light of that, y'all will probably never see another reason to have sawed to me who would slaughter a sodomite who looked at me wrong and didn't talk to me right after I followed him home. Made an offering to Baal. I just called it a night. Sometimes You simply gotta make a sacrifice like that. I don't buy bull. I'm Eli when I channel these wise raps that amount to scribed scriptures. You write high school raps with weird-ass hooks. Shit look like you took a bite right off of your ninja. You ain't no crook. You one of those free world listeners, just posing and hoping for a good look in your school yearbook pictures. But seriously, man, I can't stand it when prophets are water walking prophets against an alien astronaut who blasted off moments after I crash landed. When I entered the atmosphere but hadn't calculated the atmospheric pressure in this convex sphere, wound up in a Mexican desert, came out of the wreckage, and the first thing that happened was the exact opposite of what the apostle profited and expected. I saw no God in heaven, just humans screaming, "God help us, the devil's here in the present!" And the present's fear. But what could be worse than enduring life on trash planet this year? I don't need to see a Benz to know 2020 wasn't a perfect depiction, and I won't need to revisit to see. I have no need to be driven back around it. Even when panic's attacking, it's not this kid Benzy. I'm just in need of a couple of benzodiazepine tablets. The Holy Ghost must have dipped out and left my ass stranded, left in the cold, alone, and friendless again. God damn it! But before I start a rant filled with random babble, I've been adamant that what I said I meant, or my name isn't igneous gravel. That's my settlement. When it comes unraveled, and the sediment is dismantled and man is sent downward into the earth's mantle. Word to the disturbing messages I channel. I don't gotta rap all of that at him, 'cause Benzy knows. My flow's from the source just to make a hen cluck to explain to these scrambled brains I'm a cannibal fuck. Any chicken cock heavy enough, all of the spurs dunk. Especially if the chick can jump. But if you get jumped, don't be cop blocking my Caucasian cocky crunk when I cock a doodle die just for waking sun up. With pinpoint precision, appointed, I was anointed to be a coy, aspiring poet with points buoyantly, conjoined to an android but can't avoid growing two men. Man, like a hit to the groin twin. I'm under constant assault from something I can't see, saw off, or knock off with a spinning back kick to the chin. I would need an exorcist with a whole lot of expertise, spitting the best scriptures against these hellish MCs until it expels, and then he sees the twisted spirit sit from the gin, but it smelled like chicken shit, so it might as well be the last hen I see. I've been mind-fucked by this attachment since I was free. The freelance man from Branson, Montana contacted the League, who then contacted me, who was contracted by them, indoctrinated, and you became obligated to keep the man in the seat and the seat properly populated. Once it was obvious I had no problem with this and was just another pawn they could move at will as soon as they were willing and able, I was administered into a secret system to assist this situation. Like, well, what I did does not count, but I wouldn't count on the damn fog that followed my Masonic initiation clearing anytime soon. It's like a damn platoon, but it's not a plot too soon for a cartoon. Cartoon tune? No, tuned in too, but not to you. Now it's not just Jim and I behind this type of thinking. It's Walter the Wise and this demonic device that I decided to call Jim, I and him. Being the eye of the jinn, I figuratively configured after mineralization. I'm struggling, but still reluctantly overcoming the company of him. But some of these ducks hunting me again, and I'm wondering what in the fuck they want from me. Jumped out on them, ready to die like Biggie, but I was surprised to see as soon as I said, "What's up?" the ducks stopped quacking, then started backing down and ducking me. It sucks, but luckily I'm not troubled by none of the fuckery. I've come for the suffering underlings, and when push comes to shove, I'll let myself dig all of the shit you've been shoveling. It's not a spaceship, you racist prick, but don't make me get my ethnicity to stand proudly talking about gray lives matter and shit. I'd rather turn gray. It's my Merkaba hovering above the circumference of Mercury, occasionally circling the universe in search of a worthy and wordy earthling. It's certainly occurring to be discouraging for me to find anyone who might encourage a new version to emerge from beneath the surface of this permanent firmament you see. I won't purge you, but I urge you to discern that you do indeed deserve this sermon from me. But it's a burden being a bird birthed for the purpose of purposely burgeoning. It seems it would be easier just burning the thing. See, I can see who's jumping through fiery rings. If worth worsens in church service, like a circus freak confirming the firmament inferno beneath the Copernicus determined assertion, I will see that I'm still the wordsmith with the purpose to resurface and serve this discernment for those bozos who did earn its occurrence. I currently foresee currency being the determining thing for worth, and with this curse excursion, I disconcerted my endurance once Cerberus is dispersed and turns the dirt into a desert, and deserters are the only thing left to disturb until an emergence of insurgents. And then it traverses with insurgencies, the first emergence since I coerced it to be. This is the anniversary to commiserate in remembrance of when I asserted the word in the person first, then I first decreed the virgin birth of Jesus in the first person. Without the Peaceful thesis he releases, inverted and perverted. I'm certain there's some reason to believe it wouldn't have been confirmed when you can care less about the message stamped on the hands and the foreheads by those who are the helping hands of the Godhead today, made head God, except it's just the beast who eats these ungodly beings personally. That's the worst decree I could serve in the first degree, and deploy the convoy personally to seek and destroy every worthless thing and start again now with new research for the land of the free I originally wanted and intended for the earth to be before the Seminoles and the Braves became depraved and gave way to Apache hatchet scalping tactics, literally peeling caps back before y'all was blasting hypothetical caps so melodramatically, holding a Baphomet like, behold, in my hands is the head of no less than John the Baptist. In the name of the cross, creation was lost and decayed into madness and savagery until both factions were eradicated and the flat map was finally fully circumnavigated by me.